Ladies and gentlemen, Timmel. In life, we are often confronted with challenges, people who try to provoke us, situations that test our patience, and moments when the world seems to demand a reaction from us. But I want to challenge your thinking today. Don't react. Cut them off silently. You see, in the heat of the moment, it's easy to react. We think we must defend ourselves, explain our side, or set things straight. But in reality, the true power lies in mastering your response. The more you react, the more you give others control over your emotions. But when you choose not to react, you take back control. Silence, though it may seem like a passive response, is actually one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. Silence communicates strength. It communicates that you are in control, that you have nothing to prove, and that you are not easily swayed by the chaos around you. When someone insults you, criticizes you, or tries to drag you into the emotional turmoil, remember you do not need to engage. Not every battle is yours to fight. And often the most strategic response is not to react at all. It is not weakness to disengage, it is strength. It takes immense strength to walk away from negativity without uttering a word. It takes wisdom to recognize that not everyone is worthy of your time or energy. You don't need to convince everyone of your worth. Your silence already speaks volumes. Don't waste your time trying to change people who have no intention of understanding you. Understand that some people are simply toxic, and the best way to deal with toxic people is to cut them off, not with anger, but with the quiet strength of disengagement. In cutting them off, you preserve your peace. When you stay composed in the face of provocation, you become the master of your emotions. The goal is not to let anyone control your state of mind. You set your own boundaries. And those boundaries, my friends, are your defense against unnecessary drama. It is not about ignoring problems. It's about recognizing that there is no point in fighting battles that don't serve your growth. You do not need to engage in every conflict. You do not need to respond to every challenge. The mature person knows when to speak and when to stay silent. The wise person understands that silence often says more than words ever could. And let's be clear, cutting people off silently does not mean you hold hatred or anger against them. It simply means you recognize their negative influence on your life and choose not to allow it to affect you. It means you are focused on your growth, your peace, and your purpose. You understand that not every relationship is meant to continue, and not every person deserves a place in your life. So when confronted with negativity, when faced with insults, or when others try to provoke you, choose to remain composed. Choose to let your silence be your strength. Your dignity will remain intact. Your peace will remain unshaken. And your life will continue moving forward with greater clarity, purpose, and peace of mind. Remember this, you don't need to react to every situation. Sometimes the greatest strength is found in what you don't say, in what you don't do. And in the end, when you rise above the noise, you will be the one standing in your own power. In every situation, you hold the power to choose how you respond. Too often, we let external events or people dictate our emotional state, as if we are mere reactors to the world around us. But the truth is, we are not bound to respond automatically. Our responses are not impulses, they are deliberate decisions we make in real time. When you feel yourself being provoked, frustrated, or overwhelmed, remember that you have a choice in that moment. You can choose to react impulsively, which often leads to regret. Or you can choose to pause and control how you engage. It's this pause, this moment of reflection, that holds the key to maintaining composure. The power to control your response allows you to avoid being swept up in the chaos, to avoid the emotional reactions that often cloud judgment. This control is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending that what happens to you doesn't affect you. It's about understanding that you do not have to act on every emotion you experience. Feelings may arise, but you can choose how to channel them. Anger, frustration, hurt, they are natural human responses. But how you choose to process and express those emotions is entirely within your control. Instead of reacting from a place of hurt, defensiveness, or panic, you can respond from a place of calm, wisdom, and clarity. The people and events around you do not have the right to determine how you feel, how you behave, or how you navigate the world. You are not a puppet, manipulated by the strings of others' words or actions. You are the driver of your own responses. When you learn to control your response, you gain freedom, the freedom to act in alignment with your values, your goals, and your vision, rather than reacting from a place of impulse. Mastering your response is a skill that requires practice. It means choosing to take a step back, to breathe, and to think before speaking or acting. It means cultivating the emotional intelligence to know when to engage and when to step away. It's in those moments of choice that you define the kind of person you are and the life you are creating for yourself. Control your response, and you are not simply surviving, you are thriving, grounded in the knowledge that your peace and your power lie within your ability to choose your reaction, no matter the circumstances. Silence is often misunderstood as weakness or indifference, but in reality, it can be one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. When you choose silence in moments of tension or provocation, you assert a level of control that words cannot match. Silence allows you to step outside of the noise and chaos, to rise above the fray and maintain your dignity. It speaks louder than any response could, sending a message that you are not easily shaken or manipulated by the external forces around you. The power of silence lies not just in what it prevents you from saying, but in what it communicates without a word. In a world that often rewards constant verbal defense and argument, choosing silence demonstrates that you do not need to prove anything to anyone. Your value is not contingent on what you say or how you react. Silence conveys strength, wisdom, and inner peace. It says, I am secure in who I am, and I do not need to engage in every exchange to feel validated. In moments when others are trying to provoke you, silence can be your most effective defense. The person trying to get a reaction from you expects something, either a defense, a rebuttal, or an emotional reaction. When you don't give them what they expect, you disarm them. Their power over you evaporates because they can no longer provoke or control your emotions. Instead of reacting to them, you take away their leverage over your state of mind, and in doing so, you keep your emotional equilibrium intact. Silence also allows you to maintain your peace. Sometimes the most respectful and powerful action you can take is to simply walk away from a situation or to disengage without making a scene. In doing so, you protect your energy, your focus, and your mental clarity. Engaging in unnecessary conflict can drain you, pulling you into negativity that ultimately does nothing to serve your personal growth or peace of mind. Silence helps you preserve your resources, your time, your attention, and your emotional energy so that you can direct them toward what truly matters. Silence gives you the space to reflect and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. When you choose silence in a heated moment, you allow yourself time to process your emotions, consider your options, and decide how to best move forward. This is especially important when dealing with difficult or toxic individuals who may try to provoke you into a reaction that you later regret. Silence is a strategy. It is not passive, but a conscious choice to protect your peace and remain in control of your actions. Choosing silence doesn't mean you are avoiding issues or failing to stand up for yourself. It means you are prioritizing your peace and choosing not to engage with negativity. The act of silently stepping away can sometimes be the most powerful statement you make. By choosing silence, you are saying that you value your inner peace more than the need to prove a point or engage in a petty argument. In this way, silence becomes not only a shield, but a symbol of your strength, maturity, and self-control. Emotional traps are one of the most subtle yet dangerous forces that can derail your peace and clarity. They are situations or interactions where others deliberately or sometimes unknowingly attempt to manipulate your emotions, often with the goal of provoking a reaction. These traps are designed to draw you into a cycle of emotional engagement, where you lose control over your responses and allow external circumstances to dictate your state of mind. To avoid these emotional traps, it's essential to recognize them for what they are: distractions that ultimately have no value in your journey toward peace and personal growth. The first step in avoiding emotional traps is to become self-aware. Understand the triggers that can provoke you. Certain people, situations, or topics may evoke strong emotional reactions in you: anger, frustration, insecurity, or defensiveness. Recognizing these triggers is the first line of defense. When you are aware of what sets you off, you can consciously decide to take a step back before reacting. You are not powerless in these situations. Rather, you have the ability to decide how to engage with them. The key is not to allow your emotions to control you. Emotional reactions are often immediate and instinctual, but they don't always serve your highest good. When someone attempts to manipulate you with guilt, shame, or blame, you must resist the urge to immediately defend yourself, argue, or engage in a back and forth. This is where the emotional trap lies by reacting. You enter the cycle they've set up, playing into their hands and losing your power. The ability to resist these traps requires discipline and maturity. It takes emotional intelligence to recognize when someone is trying to manipulate your feelings and to disengage from that process. Instead of taking the bait and reacting, pause. Take a breath. Even if your emotions are stirred, you have the power to choose how you respond. The more you practice this control, the more you begin to realize that your peace and well-being are far more valuable than trying to win every emotional tug of war. Often, emotional traps are designed to provoke a sense of urgency, to make you feel that something must be done immediately or that your reaction is needed right now. But in reality, most situations are not as urgent as they seem. When someone pushes your buttons, it's easy to feel compelled to react, especially if their words or actions attack your pride or challenge your beliefs. But remember that giving in to this emotional pressure doesn't change the situation, it only escalates it. The best way to avoid being trapped in these emotionally charged situations is to not let the urgency or intensity of the moment dictate your behavior. When you avoid these emotional traps, you create space for clarity. Instead of responding in the heat of the moment, you give yourself the opportunity to think, reflect, and choose the best course of action. You take control of the situation instead of letting it control you. Whether it's stepping away from a conversation, taking a deep breath before responding, or simply not engaging at all, you become the one who determines the outcome, not the person trying to provoke you. By avoiding emotional traps, you also protect your relationships. Many conflicts arise from misunderstandings, pride, and reactive emotions. When you choose to remain calm and not react impulsively, you give yourself a chance to avoid unnecessary drama. You preserve not only your peace, but also the potential for a more positive and constructive interaction. In the end, avoiding emotional traps is a form of self-respect. It's recognizing that your emotional energy is too valuable to be wasted on toxic dynamics or petty conflicts. By holding your peace, you maintain your power and allow yourself to navigate life's challenges with wisdom, composure, and emotional balance. Preserving your peace is one of the most important commitments you can make to yourself. In a world that is constantly full of distractions, negativity, and conflict, it's easy to lose your sense of calm. But your peace is the foundation for everything else in your life, your productivity, your relationships, your creativity, and your well-being. It is fragile and precious, and once it is disturbed, it can take a long time to regain. Therefore, you must actively protect and prioritize it. Preserving your peace requires awareness. It means being mindful of the people, situations, and environments that disturb your sense of calm. Not everything that demands your attention deserves it. We often find ourselves caught up in conflicts, arguments, or emotional turmoil that ultimately drain us, and for what? Many of these situations are transient, and their impact on our peace is temporary. The challenge is recognizing when to let go and when to protect your peace by walking away from situations that don't serve your emotional or mental well-being. You also preserve your peace by setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to isolate you from the world, but guidelines that protect your energy and well-being. They allow you to engage with others without compromising your sense of self. When you are clear about what is acceptable and what is not, you can navigate interactions with greater clarity and confidence. People will only treat you the way you allow them to, and if you tolerate disrespect, negativity, or unnecessary conflict, your peace will be the one that suffers. Setting boundaries is not about being harsh or unkind. It's about knowing your worth and ensuring that you are surrounded by relationships and situations that nurture and respect you. Preserving your peace also means being selective about where you invest your emotional energy. Some battles are simply not worth fighting. Some people will never understand your perspective, and some issues will never be resolved to your satisfaction. The key is to know when to engage and when to step back. Engaging in every conflict, trying to explain yourself to everyone, or worrying about every problem only pulls you away from your center and weakens your peace. Choose wisely where you place your focus. Focus on what aligns with your values and long-term goals and let go of the rest. There is freedom in saying no to things that drain you and peace in choosing not to participate in energy-sapping exchanges. Another crucial aspect of preserving your peace is the ability to let go of past hurts. Holding on to grudges, resentments, and emotional baggage from past experiences is like carrying heavy weight around with you every day. It consumes your mental and emotional space and keeps you tethered to the past, preventing you from moving forward with clarity and purpose. Forgiveness, whether of others or yourself, is a powerful act of releasing what no longer serves you. It's not about excusing poor behavior, it's about freeing yourself from the emotional hold it has over you. When you let go of these burdens, you open up the space for peace to settle into your heart and mind. You also preserve your peace by cultivating a mindset that is grounded in resilience and emotional intelligence. Life will always have its challenges, but how you respond to them is within your control. Instead of reacting emotionally to every setback, disappointment, or confrontation, learn to process your emotions and respond thoughtfully. By doing so, you protect your inner peace from being hijacked by external circumstances. It's about maintaining your sense of stability, even in the midst of chaos. Resilience comes from a deep understanding that while you cannot control everything that happens around you, you can control how you process and move through those experiences. The art of preserving your peace is not passive. It's an active decision to protect what matters most, your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. It requires conscious effort and constant evaluation of where your energy is going. When you make the decision to protect your peace, you take control of your life. You stop allowing outside forces to dictate your emotional state. Instead, you cultivate an internal environment of calm, strength, and clarity that no one and nothing can easily disturb. The more you practice this, the stronger your peace becomes, and the more you begin to realize just how much power you have in maintaining your sense of inner tranquility, no matter the external circumstances. Disengagement is often misunderstood as an act of avoidance or retreat, but in reality, it is a powerful choice rooted in strength and wisdom. Many people equate disengagement with weakness, thinking that to truly assert themselves, they must argue, confront, or defend their position. However, the true strength lies in knowing when to disengage, when to step back and let go of the need to prove something, when to walk away from situations that are beneath your dignity, or when to simply detach from conflict without giving it the energy it craves. Disengaging doesn't mean you're running away from a problem. Rather, it's a deliberate decision to preserve your peace, your energy, and your focus. When you choose disengagement, you are choosing not to engage in the futile back and forth, drain you emotionally and mentally. It's a recognition that some people and situations are simply not worth your time or effort. You can engage in a battle of words or emotions, or you can preserve your dignity and refuse to be pulled into drama. The choice to disengage is not a mark of defeat, but an acknowledgement that some situations do not require your energy. True strength is not about the constant need to control or dominate every situation. Strength is knowing when it's better to walk away, knowing when an issue is no longer serving you, and realizing that not every moment demands your emotional involvement. It's the strength to stand firm in your peace and not allow external conflict to disrupt your internal balance. In moments of tension, it takes far more courage and wisdom to stay silent or to disengage than it does to get entangled in a back and forth argument. Disengagement also empowers you to control the trajectory of your life. Many people become ensnared in toxic relationships, unproductive debates, and unhealthy environments simply because they feel an obligation to stay involved, to explain themselves, or to defend their honor. But every moment spent in conflict is a moment you are not spending on your personal growth, your dreams, or your peace. Disengagement is an act of self-preservation, of prioritizing what is truly important and understanding that your time and energy are finite resources. You must choose wisely where to invest them. The strength in disengagement also comes from the understanding that not every disagreement or conflict requires a resolution. Some people may never understand your perspective, and some situations may never be fully reconciled. When you engage in every fight, you risk losing your own sense of direction and clarity. Disengagement allows you to remain focused on your purpose, your goals, and your vision. It is not about being passive, it's about being intentional with where and how you direct your energy. Disengagement gives you the ability to detach from the opinions and judgments of others. Many conflicts arise when we feel the need to defend our identity, beliefs, or choices to others who may not understand or appreciate them. But when you disengage, you assert your independence. You stop seeking validation from external sources and instead become anchored in your own sense of self-worth. When you choose not to react to criticism or to engage with negativity, you reclaim your power. The more you disengage from people or situations that do not serve your best interests, the more you empower yourself to live authentically and with purpose. In every moment of disengagement, you are reinforcing the truth that your peace, your time, and your energy are valuable commodities. It's a reminder that you have the right to choose where to direct your focus. Disengagement is not about giving up or letting others win. It's about choosing to step away from that which would deplete you and redirecting your attention toward what nurtures you. It's an active choice to take control of your own emotional and mental state, rather than allowing others to take it from you. The strength in disengagement is not always obvious to the outside world. People may mistake your silence for weakness or your distance for indifference, but those who truly understand the value of inner strength know that disengagement is a sign of deep emotional intelligence and self-control. It reflects a person who understands their own worth, who knows their own value, and who is not willing to be dragged into unnecessary drama or negativity. It is a testament to the fact that sometimes the most powerful response is not to respond at all. Often in life, we find ourselves in situations where words fail to capture the full depth of our thoughts, intentions, or feelings. We might feel the urge to explain ourselves, justify our actions, or convince others of our worth. But in many instances, the most powerful form of communication is not found in what we say, but in what we do. Let your actions speak louder than words ever could. When you choose to let your actions speak, you embody integrity and authenticity. Actions reveal who you truly are, what you value, what you believe, and what you stand for. Words can be manipulated, misconstrued, or misunderstood, but actions carry a truth that transcends language. Your actions are the proof of your intentions. They are the reflection of your character and your commitment to your beliefs. In a world where promises are often broken and words are cheap, actions are the tangible evidence of your sincerity. Too many people waste energy trying to explain themselves, trying to convince others of their intentions or their capabilities. But when you focus on letting your actions do the talking, you give yourself the space to be who you are without needing external validation. You show up consistently in the way that aligns with your values and vision. You don't need to convince others of your worth or intentions because your actions will reveal it clearly. Over time, people will recognize the integrity behind your actions, and your consistency will speak for itself. Actions also demonstrate your commitment to your own growth and purpose. It's easy to say you are committed to your goals, to speak about your dreams, or to promise change. But real transformation happens when you back up your words with deliberate actions. It's not enough to talk about the kind of person you want to become or the things you want to accomplish. If you truly want to make progress, you must take action, step by step, with discipline and consistency. Every small action you take, every decision you make moves you closer to your vision. Your actions, not your words, show your dedication and the depth of your belief in what you are striving for. When you let your actions speak, you also learn to trust the process of life. It's easy to get caught up in the need for instant results or immediate recognition, but lasting success is built over time through consistent action and perseverance. Trusting the power of your actions means knowing that progress happens incrementally. You don't need to announce every step you take or share every struggle you encounter. The journey is yours to walk, and the results will speak for themselves when the time is right. In relationships, letting your actions speak is one of the most profound ways to build trust and respect. Words can often be empty promises.